you ever read a novel that made you question everything around you? Your life, your choices, your memories, and even your sense of self? No? Then perhaps you haven't read Kazuo Ishiguro yet. As a Nobel Prize-winning author, he's known for creating worlds that are deeply emotional, thought-provoking, and unforgettable. As a result of which, he has created a significant space for himself in world literature, and as it goes without saying, he becomes one of the most important authors for your UGC NET English exam preparation. Questions related to him and his works are frequently asked in the recent papers of NET English exam. So, in today's video, we are going to dive deep into his life and works, understand and analyze some of his most important works from UGC NET perspective, and also tackle some previous year questions related to him, which will provide you a comprehensive understanding as to how you should prepare Kazuo Ishiguro for your UGC NET English exam preparation. So stay tuned till the end of this video and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more such UGC NET English content. Alright, let's first begin with a little background on the man behind the words. Kazuo Ishiguro was born in Japan in 1954 and continued to stay there until he reached the age of 5, after which his parents decided to move to the UK. And this mixture of Japanese heritage, Japanese tradition, values, beliefs, plus the British exposure has influenced much of his works and writing style. In fact, in a BBC interview, he did mention that this Japanese tradition and culture that he grew up with helped him provide a different perspective to things, as a result of which he was able to create worlds that were deeply emotional, but with a subtlety that is very characteristic of him, and that deeply resonated with the readers. No wonder why he received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2017. One of the most interesting facts about Kazuo Ishiguro is that he was initially inclined towards writing songs, and he began this at just the age of 15. He was deeply influenced by singers like Leonard Cohen and Bob Dylan. But he embarked on his literary career when he actively pursued Master of Arts in Creative Writing from the University of East Anglia, where he was personally tutored by none other than Angela Carter. Angela Carter is one of the most famous postmodernist feminist writers who often dabbles with magic realism and picaresque novels. Apart from being influenced by Carter's writing style, and that you can see in his works as well, he was heavily influenced by writers like Franz Kafka and Marcel Proust. You will find the elements of their writing style also present in Kazuo Ishiguro's novels. One of the interesting things that happened as a result of his course of MA in Creative Writing was his thesis. His thesis was titled as A Pale View of Hills, and that only was later published as his first novel. Published in 1982, A Pale View of Hills was set majorly in Japan after the Second World War. Now, this novel centers around this middle-aged Japanese woman called Etsuko, who shifted to England along with her new husband. And while she shifted to England, she took her eldest daughter Keiko with her. In England, Keiko felt extremely isolated and turned antisocial. All of this isolation, alienation, reaches to such an extent that Keiko decides to commit suicide. Kazuo Ishiguro deals with these themes of isolation and trauma and so much more, with so much emotional subtlety, understanding, and introspection that this makes one of his best novels, especially the novels that is set in Japan. Apart from A Pale View of Hills and An Artist of the Floating World, his most critically acclaimed novel has been The Remains of the Day. Published in 1989, this novel earned him a Booker Prize in Literature. The most interesting fact about this novel is that It is Ishiguro's first novel that was set outside of Japan. Set in England, this novel centers around a highly professional butler called as Stevens, who has spent his majority of life in service to Lord Darlington. And so this entire novel is about Stevens retrospecting, introspecting about serving his entire life to someone at a personal cost. So this retrospection and introspection does come with a certain sort of regret and guilt. And we already know that Kazuo Ishiguro is a master of dealing with themes of memory, loss, nostalgia with such an emotional subtlety that no one can match him. In fact, even Salman Rushdie described this entire story to be the story of a man destroyed by the ideas upon which he built his life. Seems quite powerful, at the same time very transformative, right? Again, one of the most interesting facts about this character Stevens is that when you read this story, you will realize that he may or may not have been a reliable narrator. And that actually happens with a lot of us, right? Or with a lot of characters as well. Because when we rely on our memories, there is a chance that we might be making a mistake, right? Because memories are quite fleeting and they are very biased and perceptive. They are formed on our perception of these experiences. And that is why when you read the novel, you'll realize that Stevens may or may not have been a reliable narrator. Another interesting fact about this particular novel, or for that matter the character Stevens, is that this character of Stevens is actually inspired from P.G. Wodehouse's Jeeves and Wooster. So you see, there is so much intertextuality, and the way that he has dealt with these emotions, it's quite eye-opening. And I know I've been going on and on about his writing style, his characteristic way of dealing with these difficult emotions. But I also want you to experience that and also understand that. So I would like to read a quote from Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go, which is my favorite novel of his. And I would like to talk about how, in a very casual, matter-of-fact manner, he has talked about such deep philosophical ideas about life. So the quote goes something like this, that what I'm not sure about is if our lives have been so different from the lives of the people we save. We all complete. Maybe none of us really understand what we have lived through or feel we have had enough time. So this quote is spoken by Kathy, the protagonist, towards the very end of the novel when she's thinking about her existence. So she's a clone, okay? So she's thinking about her predetermined existence and feeling whether her life has been different from the lives of humans. Right? And so in such simple words, Ishiguro has talked about so many things, has talked about human existence, has talked about the purpose and meaning of human existence, and in so short lines. I mean, this is the craft of Ishiguro's writing, and I think apart from UGC NET English exam, you should also read such novels because that will help you understand and gain different perspectives in life as well. Apart from these novels, Kazuo Ishiguro is also known for other novels like The Unconsoled, The Buried Giant, and quite recently, Clara and the Sun. All these novels also explore the themes of memory, loss, identity, making Ishiguro the master of contemporary fiction. Now, having had a little background about Kazuo Ishiguro's life, also having a clear understanding of some of his most critically acclaimed novels and his writing style, let's move on and tackle some of the previous year questions related to Kazuo Ishiguro. Now, this question was asked in UGC NET English Exam 2018 paper. So it basically states that which novel of Kazuo Ishiguro is narrated by a Japanese widow living in England and draws upon the destruction and rehabilitation of Nagasaki? Based upon the discussions that we have had in this video related to his most important works, you would probably guess it correctly. The answer is A Pale View of Hills. The next question was asked in UGC NET English Exam 2013. It was in the June paper, and it basically states that which of the following statements is not true about Kazuo Ishiguro's The Remains of the Day? The options are A. The novel uses Butler as a pivotal character. B. It uses a classic English detective story form. C. It refers to the England of 1930s. And D. It became a very successful film. If you read all of these options, you will realize that all are true except of B. It does not use a detective story form because it is not a detective story. And this question was asked in UGC NET English Exam of 2017. It basically asks that which of Kazuo Ishiguro's novels are set mostly in Japan? In this video, while we were discussing about some of his most important works, I did tell you about these works that were set mostly in Japan. So, if you already know it, please mention the correct answer in the comment section below. Now, this was the video on Kazuo Ishiguro. If you want to understand other literary figures in a similar manner and even in a more detailed manner, then don't worry, I've got you covered. I am taking live classes for UGC NET English exam preparation in which I am covering the history of British English literature, literary theories and criticism, and Indian English literature in a very comprehensive and simplified manner. I am providing two kinds of courses. The first are the 1-hour masterclasses in which I'll help you navigate as to how you should go about with your UGC NET English exam preparation. For example, if you're confused and overwhelmed about the history of British English literature, overwhelmed with the vast syllabus, then you can opt for this 1-hour masterclass in which I'll begin with a literary period breakdown, followed by some of the most important authors and works that you should focus upon initially, followed by a discussion on PYQs and the high impact areas. The other course is the crash course related to British English literature, Indian English literature and literary theories, in which I am providing in a series of sessions a detailed breakdown of every literary age, every author and their work, which will help you get a comprehensive understanding of the entire UGC NET English syllabus. Be it a masterclass or a crash course, these are live one-on-one sessions, which means that I can provide you personalized guidance tailored to your needs and requirements, trying to fill the possible gaps in your UGC NET English exam preparation. If you want to know more about the courses I offer, the sessions I take, and the notes I provide, feel free to check out my TopMate page at topmate.io/Riya Gandhi. I've shared the link in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. That's it for today's video, folks. If you found this video on Kazuo Ishiguro informative and helpful for your UGC NET prep, then please like it, share it with other UGC NET English aspirants, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.